I found it under the passenger seat. A small velvet box. Not gift-wrapped. Just sitting there like it didn't belong to anyone, but clearly belonged to someone. I picked it up slowly, like it might bite. Opened the lid. Silver bracelet. Thin, expensive-looking. The kind you don't buy at the local pharmacy. Tag still attached. $385. That's when I knew. It wasn't mine. I hadn't given it to her. Rachel and I weren't in the gift-giving season of marriage anymore. We were in the keep the kids fed, pay the mortgage, and don't kill each other by bedtime phase. She came home late that evening. Said the event ran long. Some donor dinner at the Civic Center, she added, like I knew what that meant. She was all heels and hair and fake laughter. I waited until the kids went to bed before I said anything. Found something in your car, I said, arms folded, voice even. She turned too quick. What do you mean? I tossed the box onto the kitchen table. She blinked. Once. Then smiled too quickly. Oh, that. One of the donors gave it to me. For the silent auction next week. I didn't say a word. Just stared at her. She kept smiling, like her face forgot how to stop. It's for the foundation, she added. I was going to bring it in tomorrow. Still has the price tag, I said. She shrugged. That's how they donated it. It's brand new. I nodded slowly. Said nothing more. She thought that was the end of it. Next morning, I made breakfast. Pancakes. Bacon. Rachel was still in bed, tired from the event. I sat with the kids. Levi, the younger one, was flipping through a coloring book. And then Emma, our 11-year-old, spoke with the innocence only a child could manage. Mommy had lunch with Mr. Delaney yesterday, she said, casually. I looked up. Scott Delaney? Yeah, the guy with the fancy truck. They were sitting at that little cafe on Main. You know, the one with the yellow chairs. I didn't blink. What were they doing? Emma shrugged. Talking. She was laughing a lot. He touched her hand and said something, and she laughed even more. She said it like it meant nothing. And maybe to her, it didn't. Rachel came downstairs 20 minutes later, all smiles, asking if the coffee was still hot. I handed her a cup. She kissed my cheek and said, You're sweet. But that kiss felt like a lie. Not because of what Emma said. Because I'd seen that bracelet. Because she lied so easily last night. Because Rachel used to blush when she lied. Now she didn't even blink. At the garage that afternoon, I opened the drawer in my office, the one where I kept the old service pistol I hadn't touched in years, and the notebook from my last deployment. I pulled out the notebook. Old habit. When you're in the field, you plan everything. You don't move until the map is drawn. You don't engage until you know all exits. I didn't write anything that day. Just stared at the first blank page. The next move had to be clean, quiet, and final. That evening, Rachel had a late planning meeting. Left in heels, perfume, a dress I hadn't seen in months. I helped the kids with homework. Put them to bed. Then I sat on the porch, alone, watching the sun drop behind the hills. I wasn't mad. Not yet. I'd seen enough men explode and lose everything because they acted on the first emotion that hit them. But I wasn't that man. Not anymore. When Rachel got home, she smelled like wine. Said they had a toast for the success of the winter drive. I nodded. Sounds productive. She smiled, relieved. Then went upstairs. I stayed downstairs. Pulled out my old burner phone from the garage safe. Flipped it open. Dialed one number. The voice on the other end answered with a chuckle. Jack Butler. Damn, that you? Yeah, I said. You finally calling in that favor? Looks like it. There was a pause. What are we looking for? I closed my eyes. Patterns. Contacts. Messages. And access to her laptop, if you can swing it. Copy that. I hung up. Upstairs, Rachel was already asleep. Or pretending. I didn't check. I already knew everything I needed. And soon, I'd have proof. I didn't sleep that night. Not because I was upset. Because I was planning. Rachel always used to say I was too quiet when I was thinking. I guess that still holds true. By sunrise, I had a list of what I needed. Access to her laptop. GPS data from her car. Activity on her email and social accounts. Visual confirmation. Leverage. That was the word I kept coming back to. Leverage. You don't win by reacting. You win by knowing when to move, and how hard. I started with the car. Rachel drove a silver Honda CR-V. Reliable. Predictable. Just like she used to be. At 5:15 a.m., while she was still asleep, I slipped into the garage and popped the hood. She'd left her keys in the bowl by the door, old habit. Under the dash, I installed a magnetic tracker the size of a lighter. Synced it with my burner phone, locked it to a secure server. No alerts. Just logs. I wiped the prints, closed the hood, and left the car exactly as I found it. Back upstairs, she was still snoring softly. I watched her for a minute. She looked peaceful, like someone who still believed she wasn't being watched. At the garage that afternoon, business was steady. Oil changes, brake pads, nothing fancy. But between jobs, I called my old Marine buddy Clay. We'd served together in Ramadi. He did signals intel. Now, freelance cybersecurity for oil companies. I told him what I needed. He didn't ask why. Send me the laptop for 6 hours, he said. I'll clone the drive, dump her comms, and ghost it. She won't notice a thing. I nodded. She uses it every evening around 9. I'll remote pull between 2 and 3 a.m. Just leave it open and online. No sleep mode. No VPN. Copy that. Click. That night, I played the good husband. Made steak. Opened a bottle of red. Told her I was sorry for being quiet lately, just tired from work. She smiled. Maybe she thought we were healing. Maybe she thought I was still in the dark. She talked about a fundraiser coming up. How Scott might match their goal personally. He's been generous, she said, too casually. I just nodded and sipped my wine. After dinner, I washed the dishes. She sat in the living room, tapping away on her laptop, texting someone, probably him. At 9:15, she kissed my cheek and went upstairs with the laptop tucked under her arm. I waited. At 2 a.m., I crept in. She was out cold. Laptop open on the nightstand. I moved carefully. Plugged it in. Disabled sleep mode. Connected it to the garage's Wi-Fi through my phone's hotspot. Redirected through Clay's access point. Done in 4 minutes. I left the room without a sound. Next day, Clay texted me one word. Complete. And a zip drive was in my inbox. I downloaded it to my private rig in the garage, offline only. First folder, screenshots. Second, email dump. Third, encrypted chat history. It was worse than I expected. They'd been talking for 7 months. Started with event planning. Turned flirty fast. Do you ever think about us, if we'd met first? She wrote in March. I think about it every damn day, he replied. Photos. Deleted messages. Voicemails. All recovered. She even used our son's baseball game as an excuse to get out of a dinner with me and went to Scott's rental property instead. One text caught my eye. Jack's so distracted lately. I don't think he'd notice if I disappeared for a weekend. She was right. Back then, I wouldn't have. I leaned back, staring at the screen. The thing that hit me wasn't the sex. It was the indifference. How little I mattered to her anymore. How much of her energy went into making me feel like I was just tired. Just busy. Just distant. When in reality, she'd already replaced me emotionally long before physically. I pulled up the GPS logs from her car. Perfect match. Every meeting, every late-night event, every planning session all traced to one of 3 addresses. Scott's office downtown. A short-term rental outside town. A cabin near Oak Ridge Trail, 30 minutes into the hills. That cabin would be important later. But not yet. For now, I needed to finish setting the stage. That evening, I installed a hidden mic in the kitchen, disguised as a smoke alarm. Also set up a motion-activated camera in the garage entrance. If she was sneaking out, I'd know. If she brought him here, I'd know. But deep down, I knew she wouldn't. Women like Rachel don't bring mess home. They compartmentalize. Keep the lie neat. Until it breaks wide open. I still hadn't confronted her. Not once. And I wasn't going to. Not yet. I was building a case. Not for court. For control. The night ended with Rachel slipping into bed next to me, humming some pop song under her breath. She kissed my shoulder and whispered, "Thanks for dinner." I didn't respond. She thought I was asleep, but I was wide awake. Eyes open. Mind sharp. Waiting. Friday afternoon, Rachel was glowing. Hair freshly done. Nails painted. New blouse, low neckline. Nothing she'd worn for me in years. She twirled her keys on her finger as she came down the stairs. Big weekend, she said. Up in Oak Ridge, donor retreat. I told the kids I'd call every night. I nodded, sipping coffee. She kissed me on the cheek, the kind of kiss you give a coworker. Then she was gone. Her car pulled out of the driveway at 2:37 p.m. By 3:15, I had the tracker up on the screen in my garage office. Headed north. Straight toward that cabin off Oak Ridge Trail. Private property. Not listed under Scott's name, but I'd already confirmed through county records it was owned by a shell company. One he controlled. A perfect hideaway. A perfect lie. I didn't follow immediately. I waited until nightfall. Packed a small bag, my camera drone, and a thermos of coffee. Left the kids with their aunt, no questions asked. At 9:45 p.m., I parked a quarter mile from the cabin. Hiked the rest. Cold pine air. Dry leaves under boots. Just like training, move slow, stay downwind, eyes open. I spotted the cabin lights through the trees. Warm glow. Laughter inside. Through the binoculars, I saw them. Wine glasses, soft jazz, a fireplace lit. Rachel was barefoot, twirling in a light dress like she was 22 again. Scott sat back in an armchair, watching her like she was a movie he owned. He touched her thigh. She didn't flinch. They kissed. I didn't look away. Didn't flinch. I'd seen worse in combat. What I hadn't seen was my wife becoming a stranger and loving it. I pulled out the drone. Small, silent, commercial grade. Clay had helped me upgrade the mic and stabilizer. I launched it quietly from a clearing, guided it low, just under tree level, slow approach to the second floor window. Captured it all. Video, audio, laughter, moaning. I could stay like this forever, she said. You might have to, he whispered. Jack's been so checked out lately. He doesn't even ask where I'm going anymore. Scott grinned. Then he won't notice when you don't come back. I ended the recording, pulled the drone back, packed it, and walked back to my truck without a sound. By Sunday, Rachel was home. Said she was exhausted from networking. Brought back pamphlets and photos of fake planning sessions. Even staged a group selfie with 3 other women from the foundation. I smiled. Played dumb. Looks like a lot of work. She nodded. You have no idea. I did, actually. I had all the idea. And I had it on tape. That night, after she went to sleep, I sent a secure email to a private inbox I'd made just for this. Subject, proof of ongoing affair. Recipient, Elise.Delaney @ Scott's wife. I didn't attach the video. Not yet. Just a message. If you want to know who your husband spent the weekend with, ask Rachel Butler. If you want proof, I have it. No response that night. But at 8:12 a.m. Monday morning, I got a reply. Just one line. Let's talk. We met at a diner outside town, neutral ground. She showed up in a crisp gray suit. No makeup. Hair in a tight bun. She wasn't there to cry. She was there to confirm what she already suspected. I handed her a flash drive. Photos. Video. Audio. She plugged it into her tablet, watched 15 seconds, then stopped. I'll handle the rest, she said. I nodded. That's all I needed. Elise stood up. For what it's worth. I always liked you, Jack. I didn't answer. She left. That evening, Rachel noticed something was off. Texted more than usual. Called Scott 3 times, no answer. She paced in the kitchen, phone in hand. By 9 p.m., she finally asked, Have you seen Scott lately? I looked up from the TV. Nope. She studied my face. I held eye contact. Nothing but calm. She went upstairs without saying another word. But she didn't sleep that night. I heard her shifting, sighing, checking her phone every 10 minutes. The house was quiet, except for the slow, echoing sound of everything starting to fall apart. It started with a missing name. Monday morning, Rachel came down in a black blazer and fresh curls, the kind of effort she only made when Scott was going to be present. But by lunchtime, she was on the phone in the pantry. Whispers. Tension. I don't understand. You were supposed to wait. What do you mean you're not on the list? Click. By 3 p.m., she called him 5 times. No answer. That evening, I grilled chicken Outback. Kids helped set the table. Rachel picked at her food. You haven't heard from Scott lately, have you? I shrugged. He's not my friend. She smiled nervously. Right. Yeah. Next morning, news started traveling. Scott was stepping down from the advisory board of her foundation, effective immediately. Personal reasons. Out of respect for his family. Some vague PR line. By lunch, Rachel was pale. By dinner, she was drinking wine like it was water. On Wednesday, I got a package at the shop. No return address. Inside, a typed note and a manila envelope. Consider him handled. I'm sorry it had to happen this way. Elise. Inside the envelope, a printed email exchange between Rachel and Scott, labeled and highlighted. Photos. Screenshots. And finally, a copy of Rachel's contract termination, signed and dated. Not a suggestion. A decision. I put the envelope in the safe in my garage. Didn't show her. Didn't need to. She came home that night in tears. They let me go, she said. No explanation. Just I'm out. I looked up from under the hood of a Dodge Ram. You ask Scott about it? Her face twisted. He won't answer my calls. I wiped my hands clean and said nothing. She stood there a moment, waiting for sympathy. I went back to work. That night, I got a message from Clay. He'd captured new traffic on her laptop. She'd been Googling marriage counseling, legal separation Arizona, and how to fix an emotional affair. That last one almost made me laugh. Saturday morning, she made breakfast for the first time in weeks. Waffles, bacon, fresh orange juice. She smiled like nothing had happened. Sat down beside me, placed a hand on mine. I know I've been distant, she began. I let her talk. About how she felt lost. About the pressure. About not feeling appreciated. About Scott being a mistake. Said with no confirmation, of course, just hint and implication. I didn't respond. Just chewed my bacon. She kept going. We've been together so long, Jack. Maybe we just forgot how to be close. Still I said nothing. Finally, she whispered, do you even care anymore? I stood, took my plate to the sink, washed it, then looked at her and said, calmly, you think I don't care? Her eyes searched mine. I think you're not telling me something. I nodded. You're right. Then walked out to the garage. Later that day, she knocked softly on the door. I was working on a transmission. Jack, can we talk? I looked up. I'm busy. She flinched. Okay. And left. That night, I laid out the divorce papers on the kitchen table. No alimony. Full custody of the kids. House stays with me. She keeps her car and a modest savings account. I added a note. This is me being kind. Don't make me be thorough. She found them in the morning. Her gasp woke me up. She stormed into the bedroom, waving the papers. What is this? I sat up slowly. Divorce. You can't just decide that. I didn't. You did. Months ago. She stood frozen. You've known this whole time. I didn't answer. She dropped the papers. Tears started. Jack, please. We can fix this. No. You broke something I'm not fixing. She tried everything. Guilt. Anger. Seduction. Even the kids. I don't want them growing up with divorced parents, she cried. I looked her straight in the eye. You should have thought about that when you crawled into bed with Delaney. Her face cracked like glass under pressure. She didn't sign that day, but she didn't leave either. She slept on the couch. Didn't go to work. Barely ate. By Friday, the kids were asking questions. Is Mom sick? No, I said. She's just figuring some things out. She signed the papers Sunday night. Quietly. Trembling hands. No more speeches. No more begging. Just silence. Like a woman walking herself to the gallows. I put the papers in the safe. Called my lawyer in the morning. Rachel moved out within the week. No drama. No scene. Just bags, boxes, and broken eye contact. After she moved out, Rachel started texting again. First, it was about the kids. Then the house. Then, late one night. I miss you. I wish things were different. I didn't respond. She came by the house the next week to drop off Levi's school folder. I met her at the door. You can come in, I said. She stepped inside slowly. Looked around like it was a museum of her old life. She paused in the kitchen. I made waffles here every Sunday, she said softly. I didn't reply. She turned. You're not even going to yell? Nothing. I shook my head. Yelling is for people who still want something. She blinked. Then said it. I made a mistake. I tilted my head slightly. Which one? She flinched. I never meant to hurt you. I didn't think it would go that far. It went exactly as far as you let it. Her eyes watered. I've lost everything, Jack. My job. My reputation. I can't even show my face at Emma's school without the other moms staring. You earned that. I know. Silence. I want to make it right, she added, desperate. I looked her in the eye. You can't. Next morning, she sent a long email. Subject, please read this. 2 pages of apologies. Rationalizations. Memories. Hopes. She quoted wedding vows. Brought up the kids. Used the word forgiveness 7 times. I deleted it. She called Clay. Tried to get information. Can I talk to Jack? I just want to understand. Clay laughed and hung up. Then she went to my sister. Asked her to intervene. Maybe you could talk to him? Tell him I'm trying? My sister told her the truth. Rachel, Jack's not trying. He's deciding. Meanwhile, I worked. Fixed trucks. Replaced a carburetor on an old 72 Chevelle. Painted the boys' room navy blue like they asked. I was tired, but I slept through the night. For the first time in years. Then Scott showed up at the station. Midday. Wearing sunglasses and a forced grin. Jack, he said, voice too casual. You got a minute? I stared at him across the customer desk. Something wrong with your truck? He cleared his throat. No, Look, I think there's been some confusion. About Rachel. About what happened. I nodded. He waited for a response. Got none. I just wanted to say I didn't mean for things to get out of hand. I leaned forward slightly. Is this your way of apologizing, Scott? He hesitated. It's my way of saying, maybe we can move past it. I smiled once. No. He blinked. No, Scott. You don't get to frame this like a misunderstanding. UF asterisk 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 at my wife. You knew what you were doing. You thought I'd never find out. His face tightened. I made a mistake. You made choices. Mistakes are accidents. This was calculated. I just want to keep things civil. We are civil. I didn't hit you. That's me being civil. Scott took a slow step back. You know this doesn't have to get ugly. I chuckled. Oh, Scott, it's already ugly. You just haven't bled yet. He left without another word. Rachel found out the next day. She called, frantic. You threatened him? I answered calmly. No. I reminded him. Jack, please. Don't make this worse. I'm not doing anything, Rachel. I already did. Click. After that, she stopped trying. Stopped texting. Stopped calling. She came to pick up the kids, but didn't linger. Didn't ask to come in. Didn't make small talk. The silence was thick, but clean, like a house finally fumigated. I finalized the custody agreement. Kids with me full-time. She gets visits twice a month. No overnights. She signed without protest. Last message I got from her was simple. Thank you for being fair. I didn't deserve it. I never answered. Because she was wrong. She didn't get fair. She got mercy. That Friday, I stood in the yard, watching Emma play catch with Levi. Sun was setting. Beer in hand. Dog asleep on the porch. And for the first time in over a year, I felt light. Not happy. Not angry. Just done. The courthouse smelled like paper and floor polish. Second floor, room 214. Family court. Neutral ground, they called it. There was nothing neutral about it. Rachel sat across the room from me, next to her attorney. Her hair was pulled back tight, makeup just thick enough to hide the exhaustion underneath. She wore a beige blazer, safe, forgettable. The kind of outfit you wear when you're trying not to make waves. She looked everywhere but at me. My lawyer leaned in. You ready? I nodded. We'd already reviewed every line. There would be no surprises. The judge called us forward, asked the usual questions, confirmed that we both understood what we were signing, that we divided assets fairly, that we agreed on custody. Rachel answered in a whisper. I answered clearly. Then came the documents. 7 pages. 2 signatures. 1 on each copy. Final. Rachel signed first. Her hand trembled slightly. She paused before the last initial, then finished it. The pen clicked. She slid the papers across the table without a word. I took the pen, signed my name. Steady. Clean. The judge nodded. You're both officially divorced. Custody arrangements take effect immediately. Bang of the gavel. Done. Rachel didn't look at me as we left the room. She walked stiffly down the hallway, heels clicking like a slow metronome. Outside the courthouse, she finally turned. Jack. I waited. She hesitated. I'm sorry. I nodded once, then walked away. Back home, the kids were in the yard. Emma drawing with chalk on the driveway. Levi chasing the dog. Normal. Peaceful. I stood at the edge of it, like a man visiting a dream he used to have. And for the first time, it felt real again. Rachel's things were long gone. The bedroom felt bigger. The silence, warmer. The kitchen no longer held the echo of her lies. Just the smell of coffee and motor oil from my jacket. A week passed. Then 2. No calls. No texts. The visits were awkward, short. Rachel didn't cry. Didn't beg. Didn't even look around the house when she came. She'd accepted it. Too late. But still. One evening, a letter came. No return address. Just Jack scrawled in handwriting I knew too well. I opened it. Inside, 3 short lines. I was wrong. I was selfish. I hope one day you'll forgive me. I just wanted to say thank you for everything. I folded the letter and placed it in the trash. Didn't even tear it. It didn't deserve the effort. A month later, I finished restoring the old Camaro I'd been working on since the start of all this. Took the kids for a drive through the desert. Music loud. Windows down. Sun cutting through the windshield. Emma laughed. Levi held a chocolate milkshake like a trophy. I smiled without trying. There's no dramatic ending to stories like this. No revenge speech. No epic confrontation. Just a man who got tired of being lied to. Who stopped asking why and started asking what now. And answered it. Quietly. Completely. Some nights, I sit on the porch with a beer, watching the stars burn slow over Arizona. I don't think about Rachel. I don't think about Scott. I don't think about what I lost. Because the truth is, I didn't lose a damn thing. I just finally let go of something that had already let go of me.